Fen was a boy, a sweet boy. Dear Fen, dear Fen. Helena stopped dancing and walked back to the gin glass waiting for her on the chair. But now I have Avery. She sipped from it, and I get to move to Hollywood and maybe have a baby. At least this way I won't turn into an old maid, mad as a hatter and warts on my nose, a third wheel at the fireside beside you and Hughes. Heaven forbid. No third wheel, no warts, and one Avery Lewis to boot. Yes, now we'll both really have someone of our own. That's important, Helena said thoughtfully. I just wonder... Wonder what? Well, if it'll be the same with Avery, you know, the way it was with Fen. You mean in bed? Nick turned quickly to face her cousin. Well, I'll be goddamned. Has the virginal Helena actually mentioned the act? You're mean, Helena said. I know, Nick said. I am drunk, Helena said, but I do wonder. Fen is the only boy I really loved. Before Avery, I mean. But Avery is a man. Well, if you love him, I'm sure it will be just grand. Of course you're right. Helena finished off her gin. Oh, Nick, I can't believe it's all changing. We've been so happy here despite everything. Don't get weepy. We'll see each other every summer, unless your new husband is allergic to the East Coast. We'll go to the island, just like our mothers, houses right next door. Nick smiled, thinking about Tiger House, its airy rooms, the expanse of green lawn that disappeared into the blue of the harbor, and the small, sweet cottage next door which her father had built for Helena's mother as a gift. Houses, husbands, and midnight gin parties, Nick said. Nothing's going to change, not in any way that really matters. It will be like always. Nick's train from Boston was delayed, and she had to fight her way through the crowds at Penn Station, all rushing off to be somewhere in a muddle of luggage and hats and kisses and lost tickets. Helena must be halfway across the country by now, she thought. Nick had closed up the apartment herself and given the final instructions to the landlady as to where everything was to be sent. Boxes of novels and poetry to Florida, suitcases full of corsets to Hollywood. The train, when she finally got on it, smelled like bleach and excitement. The Havana Special, which ran all the way from New York to Miami, would be the first overnight journey she had ever taken alone. She kept pressing her nose to the inside of her wrist, inhaling her lily-of-the-valley perfume like a smelling salt. In the dizziness of it all, she almost forgot to tip the porter. Inside her roomette, Nick set her leather case on the rack and clicked it open, checking the contents again to make sure she hadn't forgotten anything. One nightgown for the train, white, and one for Hughes, green, with matching dressing gown. 2 ivory silk slips, 3 matching pairs of ivory silk underpants and brasiers. She could wash them every other day until the rest of her things arrived in St. Augustine. Her ditty kit, travel vial of perfume, 1 lipstick, red, the precious Floris hand cream Hughes had brought her from London, 1 toothbrush and paste, 1 washcloth, and 1 cake of ivory soap. 2 cotton dresses, 2 cotton blouses, 1 pair of gabardine trousers, her Katherine Hepburn trousers, 2 cotton skirts, and 1 good summer-weight wool suit, cream. She also counted out 3 pairs of cotton gloves, 2 white, 1 cream, and her mother's pink and green silk scarf. Her mother had loved that scarf. She always wore it when she was traveling to Europe. Now it belonged to Nick. And although she wasn't going as far as Paris just yet, going to meet Hughes after so long seemed more like going to China. Beyond here be dragons, she said to the suitcase. Nick heard the whistle blow and quickly snapped the lid shut and sat down. Now that the war was over, the scene outside the window, women waving handkerchiefs and red-eyed children, was less affecting. No one was going off to die. They were just going to an old aunt's house or some boring work appointment. For her, though, it felt exciting. The world was new. She was going to see Hughes. Hughes. She whispered his name like a talisman. Now that she was only a day away from him, she thought she might go crazy with the waiting.